anesthetize them just like they're going into surgery, shaves the back, scrubs it, and then he uses honking like 14 gauge needle and backloads the needle with gold beads and then injects them right into the points, and then they stay there, and he's had great luck using that. Yeah, this is what you can see up there. This is just pictures of needles, acupuncture. Prolotherapy is another form of acupuncture that's used, but you use very specific liquids in it, and it's been used for chronic arthritic issues, and you inject the prolotherapy right into the ashi points, and it helps regenerate tissue that's dying, muscle tissue, necrotic muscle tissue, maybe cartilage, tendon, ligament. It's used for that sort of thing. And this is just my electrode unit again. So definitions, TCM, that people will say that it's much shorter than traditional Chinese medicine, so I'll probably say that from here on in. The theory of health, that health is a balance or harmony of the body, emotions, and the environment, and disease is imbalance or disharmony, and that when you have the underlying premise is that the body always wants to be in harmony. So you're providing the stimulus for the body to readjust itself into harmony using acupuncture, massage therapy, chiropractic, whatever. You're just providing a stimulus for the body to get back into harmony. So TCM calls the energy that moves through the body qi. QI, that's pronounced qi in traditional Chinese medicine. And it can flow through meridians. Qi can be deficient, so if you have, for example, on a leg muscle, if you have some damage and it's cold in spots, you could say that that's deficient qi, that qi's not moving through that area, so you'd want to warm it up. You can have stagnant qi, and Mindy's dog has a good example of stagnant lung qi, and I'll show you how I know that. That's where qi just sits and it doesn't move. Those are knots in arthritis that are hard, these spots that maybe are painful. It could be just stagnant energy that's not moving through. When you rub it, it feels better. It increases the blood flow, it increases endorphin release, and gets rid of that stagnation. You can have rebellious qi, which is vomiting. Qi normally moves this way through the body, and when it's rebellious and not moving the way it's supposed to, then you see vomiting. Qi can be totally collapsed, and that's like death. So luckily we don't see that too often unless there's some catastrophic problem. You can stimulate or sedate and acupoint, and that influences the flow of qi. We talked about that. So acupuncture points are anywhere from 1 millimeter to 25 millimeters in size. Most of them are palpable as depressions in the body because they're areas of confluence of tendon, ligaments, nerves, blood vessels. They're at areas where things attach, and that's usually where there's depressions. 60% of them correspond to nerve structures. They may be sensitive. Like I said, this one's always sensitive in me. If there's a qi imbalance, they can be located by electrical activity, and there are things such as, they call them point finders, acufinders, where you can move them on the body and they will make a noise when you're on an acupuncture point. I don't have one of those. So TCM theories, the things that I use to pick points. There's the meridian theory. Oops. Maybe, how do I go back on this? You know? One back. No, those terms, yin and yang. There's the 5 element theory, there's the 8 principles theory, there's tone pulse theory, and there's diagnostic acupuncture. So this is what, like, Ibis and David Ramey, the guy that I heard speak, they don't use any of this. So the meridian theory is based on the fact that there are channels that run through the body. Qi and blood run through those channels. There's 14 acupuncture meridians. There's specific points along each meridian, and a disharmony can infect one or more meridians and one or more points on those meridians. This is a pony I was doing for infertility, acupuncture for infertility, and I'm using a laser on her. And then there's yin and yang theory, and that's based on that everything is paired with its relative opposite. Simplistic understanding of dynamic nature of life and all its interrelationships. So everything can be categorized as either yin or yang. You can have a yin or yang animal that can have either a yin or yang disease. Nothing is pure yin and nothing is pure yang. It's a combination of both. And this just gives an example. From veterinary medicine, what we look at, how we define a disease. So yin is a deficiency, it's underactive, it's hypo, it involves parasympathetic nerves, it involves endorphins as the intermediaries, and it involves solid organs like the liver or the spleen, as opposed to the stomach or the intestines, which are hollow organs. So if you had a dog that had hypothyroidism, which is an underactive thyroid, that's a yin disease. But that dog could be a yang dog with a yin disease, or it could be a yin dog with a yin disease. So traditional Chinese medicine wouldn't treat those two dogs the same, where Western medicine would. But they all go on thyroid replacement supplements. In holistic medicine, that's not the case. Each dog, whether, of those two examples that I gave, they would be treated totally different. And then, of course, yin is excess, it's overactive, it's hyper, the sympathetic nerves are involved, epinephrine is the intermediary, and it involves hollow organs. So those are just a few examples of yin and yang. Then there's the 5 element theory, and that's where, so it's developed to help detect where in the body fundamental imbalance is, and that theory embodies the qualities of the elements wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, and imparts those qualities to each organ and to the constitution of each animal. So I have the example. Look. Here's an example. Kidney relates to water since its function is to regulate circulation and water in the body. Oh shoot, I didn't want to move the 8, that's why I wanted to show you something on the 5 elements. So one of the things that I really like to do is to find an animal's elemental constitution, because that sort of tells you what they're like, and I can't always do that. The owners are better off doing that. So what I do is I print them out these sheets that talk about the 5 elements and tell them to tell me what their animal is. For example, I'll just read you one. A fire constitution. So fire was one of those elements. Summer is a toy poodle who's the happiest little dog you've ever seen, except when her person is not around. Then she is anxious, she's hyperactive, she barks hysterically, driving herself into tantrum fits until she can barely breathe. Her heart races, she overheats easily, and is unable to take the sun for long periods. She tends to dream excessively, talking and paddling in her sleep so that she appears restless. When her person finally returns, Summer pees nervously because she is so overjoyed. Summer is an example of the element fire, which is related to the heart and the circulatory system. As indicated earlier, the heart is coupled or paired with the small intestine, which is also considered a fire organ. If you think about it, the small intestine is a place where the digestive enzymes are activated or fired up to help break down food. So the reason this is important to me is because if you can determine what constitution an animal is, those organs, the heart and the small intestine, for a fire animal are going to be the sources of pathology. Almost everything that animal gets is going to originate from those organs, because that's what gets stressed the most, that's what gets expressed the most. It's not across the board, but it's a good place to start. And it helps you. Traditional Chinese medicine gets really complicated, and health is like, and harmony in the body is like peeling layers off the onion, because things don't happen in a vacuum. And hypothyroidism, for example, affects other organ systems. And if I diagnose a dog that has hypothyroidism, that might just be, in the whole scheme of disease, that's the one thing I found. But it doesn't occur by itself. It occurs as a continuum of disharmonies. So we have to try to get that dog back, unwind all those problems, and find the root cause, and find the organ that we need to support to help rebalance that dog's system. And things have gone on so long, a lot of times you can't get back to that root health, especially as animals get older. You do as much as you can, and you get what you get, and then it's maintaining and supporting that system as best as you can until the end of their life, keeping them as healthy as we can. So that's what that meant by every element is involved in the animal's constitution and in the disease process. And then, if I can find it really quick, every organ is active at a particular time of the day. So when you get animals that something happens the same time every single day, that means something in holistic medicine. That means that organ is most active during that time, and if it's something that's pathologic, that's the organ system we need to be concentrating on. And let's see if I can find it. And I'll just pass that around.